everyone, welcome back to Haley on the Go. I'm Haley. We have new episodes that drop every Thursday, so make sure to take a minute to follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcast to never miss a conversation with one of our iconic guests. Today we are welcoming a actress, dancer, and activist who may have seen in one of her many roles. You may know her as Meredith Blake from The Parent Trap or Alexis Carrington from Dynasty. Elaine Hendrix, thanks for being here.
I love that you threw dancer in there.
You are a dancer.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. I am truly thrilled and honored that you took the time. I know you are right now 24 hours away from performing in the Dancing with the Stars semifinals. So I'm sure you are so busy. So we will just dive right in because I have so much I want to talk to you about.
Okay, let's do it.
Perfect. I want to start at the beginning. You grew up in a small town in Tennessee and decided you wanted this big career. And ever since I learned this part of your story, I've not been able to stop thinking about it. When you told your mom that you wanted to go out and become a professional performer, she told you not to have a backup plan, which that just has truly inspired me ever since I heard that come from you. What was it like to have that sort of mindset at a young age that you don't need a backup plan and that you should just go into what you want to do at 100%?
I really credit my mom, my family in general, but it really started with my mom. I credit her with giving me so many tools that I had no idea that I would need, such as persistence, resilience, don't quit, don't stop. And my mom had her master's degree. She worked at a college for many years, and then she worked in higher education even longer. So I come from a very highly educated family, but she did tell me, I don't think you should go to college. I think, because at that time I really wanted to be a dancer. And she said, I know you can only do this when you're really do it at the level that I wanted to when you're younger. And she said, I think you should go for it. And because you can always go to college, but you can't always do this. And that spirit has stayed with me my entire life. And it has served me well.
I think that the ability to go into chasing your dreams with the idea that you don't need a backup plan and you can figure it out, but to just dive in is truly so phenomenal and something I hope people can kind of take with them listening to this. And I know that you went to a performing arts high school, if I'm correct. I did
Yes.
too, and that really helped make me who I am today. I am the biggest advocate for when anyone will listen to me, making sure that people have access to STEAM education, not STEM education, which is including arts in the science, technology, engineering, and math, not just to make sure that kids have early exposure to art, but to validate art as a career path that is worth the recognition of other careers that I think we tell young children that they should go after and that they should aspire towards. What did sort of that early access to the arts provide for you and your career?
I started performing at a very early age. And it was literally like in my grandparents' living room. Hey, everyone sit down and watch this show that I've created.
I love that.
And yeah, and I just am really, I have never taken for granted that the support from my family, how incredible that is. And that instilled in me, like I was just lucky enough to not only get that personally, but to also be surrounded by friends and family members who also believed that the arts were incredibly important, whether it was me doing it or me being exposed to it. So that happened very early in life. And I think it changed everything because I think one of the biggest reasons is that it piques our curiosity and it stimulates our imagination. And that's really what fuels the world. That's really what is at the basis of communication, of desire, of innovation. And so having that cultivated in young people, in older people, in elder people, like there's no time limit on that. And it's everything. And going to a performing arts high school just for me was such the perfect fit, because while I was kind of a the kooky is the first word that comes to mind, but I will say creative child. Like I liked school. I liked learning. And so then when I got to combine my love for performing and my love for learning, like that was the ultimate for me. And it changed everything, because I had no idea that I could actually do it as a profession. So it gave me my first dose of professionalism. It taught me discipline. I gained great skills in my art. I learned about working with other people. I mean, it just brought so much to my life. So I recommend it for anyone. And certainly if you can't get it like in a formal school setting, that then like some, extracurricular outside of school program. One of the great things that I feel like I've done in my life was I used to teach dance for inner city youth in Los Angeles. And so in whatever way that we can be getting the arts to people, I'm all for it, because the last thing I'm going to say is that I teach a lot, and I firmly believe that the arts are a reflection of our humanity. And without the arts, we lose our humanity.
I love that. And I think that everything you said, from the fact that it teaches discipline to it teaches us humanity, it really is such a vehicle for change, for understanding different people, different backgrounds, different cultures, is so true and so beautiful. You mentioned that you teach dance, or that you have taught dance in the past. And I know that originally that's what you wanted to do, was be a dancer. And when you moved out to LA, you wanted to be a dancer, and then you got hit by a car while riding a bike, which is just so scary, and had to pivot because being a dancer was no longer possible at the level in which you wanted to be a professional dancer. What was that pivot like for you, realizing, you were going after your dreams 100%, no backup plan, and now dance was kind of thrown out the window, no cause of your own?
Yeah, I just remember, like, I so vividly remember the moment that it happened. And the only thing I could think of in my mind was that I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Like I just kept saying that because I so desperately needed and wanted to be okay. And the fact was I wasn't okay. And I spent the next almost 8 months in full physical therapy, and then I tapered off after that for another several months. I tried to go back to dancing. I could barely walk, and I had to go get like steroid shots just to be able to move. And so all of that really, on one hand, it rattled me, but on the other hand, like, again, that's sort of a testament to the environment that I grew up in, is that, okay, I can't do this at that level anymore, but I can still go towards creativity. And so that's when I started really leaning into just sort of performing as a whole. And then then I shifted very specifically into acting, because that I felt like I could do and could do with longevity.
You have found yourself back at dancing. Does it feel really full circle to you to have this moment now, post a truly incredible acting career? Or not post, I know you're still acting, but
yeah.
To find yourself on the stage dancing.
Yes, it is something that I never thought I would come back to at this level, and to be doing it at this point in my life is incredible. When they called, I had been asked to do the show before. It was not the right time. This was the right time, and I'm really grateful for it, because I feel like I'm getting back to it for where I'm at. I feel like I'm getting back to it at a very high level. compare, like, and it's all relative, right? So like compared to a pro, no, but compared to me and where I'm at in my life and given everything I've been through, I feel like I'm coming back to it at a very high level. And I don't think that, in a few years, I'm not sure that that would have been the case. So right now, I still am at a point where mentally, physically, emotionally, I want to go for it. I want to push myself to the nth degree. And I'm doing that. And it's exciting. I'm really grateful for it. It was unexpected. The fact that I'm in the semifinals, really hoping, really feeling like I got a chance to go to the finals. Like, I came into it going, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But now here I am. Wow. Like, it's a pinch me moment.
You make it look really easy and seamless and not like you're pushing yourself to the nth degree, which I think is a testimony to the discipline that you learned at such a young age. I'm going to go back to Dancing with the Stars, but I want to pivot for a bit because the thing that I find most inspiring and love most about you and your story is that you have said you're an actor and performer by day, but you are an activist after hours. Why? I love that. Why is that work so important to you to make sure you're spending the time, your platform, your voice, your name, and hours that you have doing work that's meaningful to the causes you care about?
Again, like I grew up that way. I come from East Tennessee. We are known as the volunteer state, and that is a large part because the spirit of volunteering, of getting involved, is literally our state theme. And I grew up in a family that believed in giving back. And doing things for others. And so I have carried that into my life. And especially the older I get, and now when I teach acting, I really impart on young people, on fellow artists, not to compartmentalize your life. So for me, it's all one and the same. Like I do my performance for, as corny as it can sound, for the good of mankind,
Yeah.
right? And then my activism is also, and they just for that, but it feeds. And then the more of a platform I get with my performing, then that's more visibility to my causes. And my causes then feed my soul when performing can beat me up, and so it's all very cyclical. And I feel like it's all just one idea, one life theme for me. And just don't even think any other way. I love getting involved. I love giving back. I love getting my hands dirty and doing what I can to help others. I just think that we have so much capacity to end so much suffering. I just am constantly amazed at why is there still so much suffering on this planet? Like, I really don't get it. So whatever I can do to alleviate it, I'm going to do it.
I love the message of using giving back to feed your soul, to pour that into your work. And I think that no matter what you do, people can take that and apply it to their lives. You don't need a huge platform to be able to take that message and find something that kind of feeds your soul. Something I learned about you that I feel like is pretty unknown and is incredible is that you received the Ally for Equality Award at the Human Rights Campaign dinner in 2022, which is incredible. And I think it's never really been more important to help make sure that people feel like they can be truly who they are. Why were you so passionate about that work, and kind of what led you to that moment?
I've been an ally to the LGBTQ community through, I guess, really my whole life. I had, in East Tennessee, the South, I think stereotypes can happen for a reason, and there is a lot of racism and bigotry. I mean, that's everywhere. It's not just in the South, but the South certainly has its share and certainly can be known for it. And I grew up in a household, and I grew up with friends and teachers who I knew were gay, but I may not have like known that word at the time. And I just was like, oh my, I love them. And I couldn't imagine anyone hating them.
Right.
And as I got older, like, I can't imagine, like, why are you going to hate someone because you don't agree with who they love? Like, that just does not compute to me. And, so I think being an ally to LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter, to the Indigenous, anyone who gets marginalized simply for being a human, it just does not, I just don't understand it. It just does not compute to me. So I feel like I'm in a really lucky, privileged, I don't know exactly what the word is, but I'm in a position where I can help be a voice, and I'm more than honored to do so.
Thank you for using your privilege to do that. And I think that, the LGBTQ plus communities of color are at the heart and soul of the arts and arts communities that we love. And so it's the very least that we can do as we appreciate their contributions to creating the culture we love to consume, is advocate for their communities. I have to now give the crowd what they want, because when Dancing with the Stars is all the rave, and a little kind of caveat is that we are filming this on Monday night. The show airs Tuesday. Everyone's going to vote to get you into the finale.
Oh, please.
And then we're going to air this the next day. I polled my audience and said, if I was to talk to someone on Dancing with the Stars, what questions do you want to know? So I have some questions for you. People were so excited. Okay. I didn't say who it was. But my first one is, you touched on it a little bit, but what is the casting process? Do you reach out? Do they reach out? Is this something that people like chase after? How does it work?
I'm sure it happens in all kinds of ways. I received a phone call. Hey, you've been offered this. And I think really that's kind of where the show is mostly now. I mean, they've been running, we just had the 20th year celebration. We're on the 34th season. So the show is well established. And, so, I don't know the whole behind the scenes of it, but I did receive a phone call, and I was actually on set filming a movie, and I got a call, and then I was like, oh my God, y'all, I just got offered Dancing with the Stars. It just was so out of, it was so out of the blue for me. And then I talked it over. I immediately wanted to say yes, but then I had to talk to my team to see how they felt about it. And luckily they were like, yes, this is the time. This is good. Great. Let's go. And here I am.
So fun. Okay. So another question that I got actually from multiple people is the scene where you go into a studio and you open the door and figure out who your pro dancer is. Is that actually the first time you learn who your partner is, or is that kind of set up?
No, it is. You don't we didn't. Yeah, I didn't 100% know. There's discussions because they've got to mix and match and all that. But no, they could have been like, well, we're sort of thinking this, but then it's somebody else. So that's sort of everything with this show, is that there's a kind of a loose framework. And then sometimes there's a very strong framework, but then what happens in the side of that is I feel anything can happen this season, especially. So, that's when it was like confirmed. Oh, Alan is my partner. Wow. Okay. Let's go. I love it.
Okay. So this is a hot one online right now, but do you get given a crash course on how the judging works? Because from the audience perspective, I think people really don't understand what is being judged, what people are looking for. When you start on the show, do they kind of give you a rundown of this is how judging works, or this is what we're scoring against?
No, I have no idea how it works. And people have asked, and they've been making comments about that. And I'm like, listen, I literally have no idea. I get comment, and to me, I try to focus on the comments because that's something I can like actually take and use. The scores matter obviously because that's 50% of what gets you through to the next week. And I feel like now that we are so far in, semifinals and next week finals, the scores, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, now the scores are more important than ever, at least to me. But I could not tell you. I will say I get a crash course on the elements of each dance, like frame, footwork, head positioning, and things like that. And so I can only assume that that's what I'm going to be scored on, but I have no idea.
Very interesting. I love it. I do also focus as an audience or a viewer on the comments, but we love to see all the 10s, and I'm wishing that for you. Okay.
You and me both.
My last two questions is, do you guys start prepping in advance the dances in case you make it ahead of time, or are you really starting clean each week?
So the first, let me think about this real quick. The first two weeks, maybe the third, at this point, I can't remember now. Because we have a little bit of time, a little more time at the beginning, you get a little more under your belt. I think it's about, I think it was by the third, certainly by the fourth week, if not the third, it's a clean slate. Like you are just, because you don't know exactly what your song is going to be. There's no time to like learn a whole, or at least for me, I can't speak, at this point I am the oldest in the competition, and it does take a little more effort for my brain to be sticky. So the youngsters, they may be working on it weeks ahead. I don't know, but there's just so much that goes into it, and to try to make the dances dynamic and, little details and to perfect them. There's just so much effort that goes into it. I can't imagine anyone getting too far ahead. And we haven't. We certainly have not, Alan and I.
It's crazy that you all learn those dances in such a short turnaround. Okay, my last question is, what is one thing that has surprised you most about the show, or you think people would be really curious to learn?
I think one of the things that has been really surprising about this show is, for me anyway, personally, and it's not necessarily about the show as it is so much about my very personal journey in it. Although I am going to say, I would not be surprised if other people say what I'm about to say, is that the level of support that I have received, like, I didn't know going into this. I am older. I don't have the biggest social media platform. I am known for my acting roles. This is me now doing this as Elaine Hendrix, a competition show. So I just didn't quite know what to expect, but the level of love and support that has rallied around me just cannot be measured. There are no words for it. I felt like people would be cheering for Meredith Blake, but now they're cheering for Elaine Hendrix, and that gets me emotional. Like that's a real journey for me. It's very personal.
It's not surprising to me that people are cheering for you, Elaine, because we just talked about your story and how you have over and over again shown up for so many different communities and chosen to spend your career advocating for others. And so you deserve to be shown up for. And we are so excited to have had you on here, to get to chat with you, to get to vote for you the last few weeks. So thank you. You are phenomenal. And I can't wait to see you in the finale and on our screens.
Thank you so much. And I do want to give a shout out. I did not mention about all the animals that I champion. Yes. And I always got to speak up for my furry, feathered, and finned ones. So just thank you for this. And thank you for voting for me. And I really do hope I'm seeing y'all next week in the finales.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being on. I really appreciate it, Elaine.